We still do 7 NUFC Matters show a week for free. But if you want to help support NUFC Matters, then there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast and video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications bell so you don't miss a single show. If you want to help us financially, then you can join the channel using this button with the membership starting at $1.99 a month. Or you can drop us a donation in the chat using a super sticker. We're also looking for sponsors. If you'd like your brand advertised on the flyers for the show and featured during the ad break, then email John at nufcmatters.com to arrange today.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for other mints. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices, I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for oven mitts. Hush now, city kids. But you know, the wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters. It is the Fans Forum, a pre-recorded show with me, George, Spenny, Tom, Darren, Ian and Magnus, and as always plenty to talk about Newcastle United. And George, we're going to start with the Select Cup. Newcastle retained it, tongue-in-cheek there really. It's not exactly the biggest of trophies to win, but Newcastle did retain it. 2 good games, 4-0 win of course on Friday night, and Saturday saw a more conservative 1-0 win, 2 clean sheets. Everybody got a run out who was available. The women's team in between that played and beat AC Milan on penalties after a 2-2 draw, and over 60,000 people over the 2 nights, going across to St James's Park to support the lads and lasses. And the stack was open, and lots of people queuing up and cramming into the stack, which of course is good for the club. No trouble, anticipated trouble over the weekend, of course, and that was great news. Not to hear any issues, any problems. But by all accounts, a great weekend for everybody, George. Good for the club and a good way to finish what has probably been a solid pre-season.
It did what it said on the tin. It was a cheaper way for some people who don't normally go and watch a match with the kids, and the weather helped. The stack being open was another big plus. I mean, I go on, if you lads have probably heard me going on about the Magic weekend with the rugby league. I always go to that. And one of the reasons I go to it is the way they look after the fans. The rugby league people really do look after the fans. Well, the stack's just an upgrade of that for me. Fantastic. I can't wait to go next week when I'm going into the match. I'll certainly go and have a look. And as regards the football, well, again, it did what it said on the tin. It was a good run out for the team, and extensions to the team. Lots of good things, and some things we knew about. The guys who were up there and doing it before, doing it again, like Shaw and Murphy seems to have taken it this pre-season like a duck to water. He's had a go in each game and made his presence felt. If there were any downside on the playing side, Jamal Lewis was a disappointment in the sense that I thought he would have a real go, because he's got to be playing for his place at the moment, or even for a contract at the moment. Yet he didn't particularly shine in any way. Trippier was a little bit off the pace, but then that's maybe partly to do with them being laid back, or or is he laid back because he's ready to move on? Whichever it is, he wasn't the Kieran Trippier we know. And others, well, when you centre forward, well, what a snippet what we've paid for him. I mean, he frightened the defenders to death every time he was on the ball from the get-go. I mean, it wasn't as though he played himself in. From the minute he received the ball, he was making their life a misery. And really looking forward to him when he's had a couple of months of how training and tactics and all the rest of it, and alongside Isak or Wilson or both, you know. So that was all very positive. Chance to see some of the youngsters outstanding was for me was a little Sanusi. I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but he looked absolutely. Every time he got the ball, the only thing the defenders do was pull his bloody shirt. You know, he really had them worried. So again, there's another one to look for next season when he's had a bit of time training with the squad and all the rest of it. So all in all, a win. The Salah Cup is a feature, and it's going to be a feature for a while. I think they're right to make something of it. I agree with that. That's a good thing. And I also think that they're right to down the prices a little to encourage more people to go that don't normally go. And if there's been over 60,000 there over the two games, well, that's just amazing. As I commented, I think it was on Friday. Here's somebody I couldn't imagine even 20 years ago, never mind the 60 years ago when I played at St James's Park, getting 3 games on St James's Park in 2 days. I mean, that's just unheard of. And yet, again, going to the Magic weekend, they have 9 rugby league games on that pitch over that weekend. And the pitch is as good when it starts as when it started. It's the same when they finish. Could never have done that, even, as I say, even 20 years ago. So there's so much very positive about things that's happening in Newcastle now. It's a thrill, and can't wait for the season to start. Salah must be pleased. I can't imagine they won't be with the exposure they've had, and the exposure that they've given us with the stack, because that looks really, really good. It's a place to enjoy everything. I mean, those guys being interviewed the other day who come over regularly from Ireland, but can't get tickets. They're now just going to come and go in the stack and watch the match in the stack, which is incredible. You know, it just adds to the atmosphere, adds to the appeal of the club and everything else about it. So yeah, great weekend. Couldn't be better in my view. But good to see people like Jacob Murphy taking his opportunities still, and the new Danish lad having a go, and Shaw looking as supreme as ever, and then all the others getting to run out. Another minor disappointment was that I thought young Harrison didn't do himself any favours. I thought he looked out of steam by the time he went off at half time. But just maybe early days. I don't know. I might be being overcritical, but overall, a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, okay. Spenny, again, the Salah Cup seems to be becoming like a regular part of our pre-season calendar. It's great to see the ground open again, and people piling in. 2 completely different games, really. The 4-0 was brought back memories of that wonderful opening 20-odd minutes against Tottenham Hotspur, didn't it? And then the second game, of course, completely different team, different personnel. Could have been 2-0. I thought Asula took his chance well. I think on another day that probably would have stood. VAR certainly probably would have ruled in our favour. But it was a slightly different type of game, different type of squad. I think, probably just a little reminder that, the difference that Isak makes to our team. Newcastle still managed to get the job done, got the game won, kept a clean sheet. But, But ultimately, we don't seem to have the same kind of goal threat when Isaac's not playing. Would have been different maybe if Callum Wilson had an opportunity to play. But yeah, overall, what did you make of the weekend, Spenny?
I thought it was fantastic. But fantastic for the area of Newcastle. And fantastic for the community as well. Like George said, people going in who don't go to the matches, taking the kids to the games. You don't get to do it that chance now because of these ID checks and whatever it is they get in the grounds. So that's what these friendlies are about. You can watch 3 games, like George said, in a weekend, and going and getting young people into Newcastle and say what Newcastle's about and going to the match. I agree totally what George said. Sancho, whatever his name is was the star of the weekend. Murphy as well. And for me, I think Pope was good as well. I thought Pope kept his goal good. He's got his worries out the way about him coming back from injury. I think he's proved that himself for me. I'll just say about the stack though, George. They won't be showing live games when the match is on. You only can watch them in Shearer's mind.
They'll be showing them if they're televised. They'll show them, but not.
Yeah, you can't do it when it's live. Yeah, it's just Shearer's you can watch them on.
To be fair though, Spenny, most of ours are televised anyway.
I think it's 4 or 5 out of the first 7 games be on Sky or BD. But like I said, I'm very impressed. Murphy was, but you've got to think about it. He's still in the transfer window, and these players are still fighting for the places. So this is going to benefit us. They're going to be given 100%, which they should be, and that's the Newcastle way. No one's guaranteed a place in that side at the moment. And I'm impressed with that Sheffield United player we bought, that young lad. He has got the pace. It was a bit disappointing he didn't get that goal. It was just offside, wasn't he? But like I said, I really enjoyed him. I think he's going to be a good one for the future. I mean, like George said, we've got a snip there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely did. Tom, hope you're well, mate. What's your views on the Select Club from a stateside point of view?
Well, I first have to give props to the team for their app. So the Newcastle United app, I was flying back from Chicago yesterday, and I could watch it on my app in the airport. The flight was delayed as always, and I watched the entire match. So it was kind of nice to be able to do that. I would have never done that before, and it was so seamless and easy. It's a nice app, I have to say that. Great stuff. I mean, the first half on Friday, it didn't bring the hair into the back of your neck standing up. I don't know what will. We looked, right up for it, I have to say. You called out Murphy. I thought he played well, but let's not forget old Sean. He's been getting a lot of grief. But Longstaff put 2 by him. I think our first 2 goals were with left feet too. So he scored with his left foot, and then Gordon scored with his left foot, which was really kind of nice. And both were not easy goals whatsoever. They had to have a little bit of patience and nous to do that. We loved it. We've seen it from afar. I know 60,000 people made it to the stadium, but the app and the NUFC TV allowed us all across the globe to watch it. And I can't say that I'm any more excited than I could be. I mean, more excited than I've ever been, I think, for the start of the season. I think the schedule looks good for us. I think the fixture congestion or lack of congestion looks good for us. I think that we have a very relatively healthy team, and we got quality at every position. Now, can we use a little bit more depth at center back? Of course. Can we use a little bit more depth up front? Maybe. But Osula, as you guys have mentioned, that guy's the real deal. He looked like a snip to buy him for 10 million pounds, and I think 5 of add-ons. His pace was really impressive, and makes me kind of lick my chops to think of him next to Isaac in some matches. I think that would be really putting the defense in a quandary there. So, yeah, I think it all looked pretty good. I think the only thing I didn't like about the weekend was Char's mustache, and either did my wife, who finds him very attractive.
I love it.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
there's lots of complaints from ladies on social media about it.
The next person on the panel comes with a warning. Stay away from negative people. They've got a problem for every solution. Good evening, Darren.
Good evening, chaps. You all right?
Good, mate. You were at the Select Cup.
Yes.
Any complaints?
I reckon the club got the pricing wrong on the tickets completely. Because I think there would be more people there, a bit more cheaper fans, and they've upped the price.
Only a tenner, man.
No, it's in my opinion, though. I think they've upped the prices inside the ground for a pint. And do you know what I mean? It's now £6 for a pint of Madrid. It used to be £5. So
Really?
they're going to up the price. They're upping the prices. So I think it's wrong. They've done that.
How do you know that?
But I had a pint, didn't I? You know what I mean?
You never pay for it.
Buy one.
You never pay for it.
I know.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm saying my opinion though. The first game, who would have played Girona? They were bad, poor. They're in the Champions League. They're not going to do now. The email just put the white flag and say we're not playing. We scored 4 quick goals. Yes, my mate Murphy scored. Well, he's done all right. He's no great. He's not playing a good team. They were poor. I like to see them maybe against a better team.
How would you fast forward?
How
would you fast forward?
Well, I'm sorry, I listen to all your opinions. You can listen to mine. You know what I mean?
It must be fucking bad if you want him fast forward to me, Spenny.
Must be.
The second game, I like Lewis Holden good in the first game. I was impressed with Lewis Hall. I reckon he's a stand-out left start for me. And the new centre half I got from Bournemouth, contender for starting for me.
Yeah,
contender for starting. Yeah. No Dan Burns.
Agree.
So Lloyd Kelly and Luke and Lewis Hall's my starting 2 players next week. And Joe Willock, I think Joe Willock done okay yesterday. He had a good game. Isak was just trying his best to score. He just couldn't score in the barn door, really. His penalty, poor penalty, but he's missed 2 now in pre-season. So is that a change of penalty taker for the big games?
Good time to miss them, though, Daz.
Well, if you're a striker, you should miss your penalties. You should never miss a penalty.
Yeah, but if you miss them at friendlies, don't you?
You should never miss a penalty. You should never ever miss a penalty.
But overall, Darren, a good experience to select.
Good experience, but like I say, if you want to go to Stack, you've got to go dead early, mind you, because the queues. You kind of like if you go, we say 1:30, you're outside queue to get in. So if you want to go to Stack, you've got to go plenty of time because like with queues to get in the place. Do you know what I mean? I think only does 3,000 people, and inside's rammed. It really is rammed inside. It's good. I went and had a look. I was very impressed inside.
One good thing about the Stack is the strawberry won't be as full.
Yes, the strawberry was, but the Stack's really good. I'm impressed with it.
The Stack's great for people. The Stack's great for people who like that kind of thing. I mean, for me, there's 50 to 52,000 people go to the game, and ultimately, so many different places to go. So look, the Stack will be full. We know it will be full, and I'm over the moon at the club. I'm making something out of it, which is great. Moving on.
It was a good game, good 2 game, but good. We won. A couple of positive thing I say I like Lewis Hall. I think he's a starter, and I think Lloyd Kelly's a starter. But them 2 should start for next week, my opinion.
All right, well, we're going to come to that in the second half after the ad break. But Ian, I mean, the Select Cup, I tell you what was interesting. It was when the trophy was lifted. I don't know whether anybody else spotted it. We spotted it on the professionals. We brought it up actually on Sunday's show that Trippier chose to share the honour with Bruno for lifting the cup. Ian.
Yeah.
Do you think that was significant? Did that have a feeling of handing the baton over?
Yes, I did think that. I did, but I don't know. I think a lot of stuff that's going on at the moment's a little bit strange with Trips. I think I think Trips is on his way out, and I haven't got a clue. Like I don't know anything. But I feel like it's a bit of a swan song for him. I think he knows. he's got one good contract left in him, and he could be a really good contract. And I see all this, the things that have happened with Trips recently, as him saying, "I've done my bit for years. See you later." I don't know, but that's the way I read it. But then it could be something and nothing. It just seems it's just really strange, actually. Like, I found it very strange. For the weekend, for the whole cup experience, I thought it was very good. I think the numbers were down slightly on last year, but I don't know. Someone might correct me on that. It felt like the numbers were down from last year. I didn't actually go, and I did the year previous, but I had stuff to do this weekend because it's my birthday tomorrow. Don't know whether you know that. I've had a few today to celebrate.
Happy birthday!
Yes, have a good one, mate.
I'll be 55th.
Fuck off. You're like, hey, you can cut that out, Steve.
I can't, but never mind.
I thought it went off really well. First game we played excellent. Like you say, it was like the start was amazing. I said after the Hull game, Sanusi at Hull, he didn't do much, but he just looked like he could do something, and I think he's built on that game. I'm not claiming to be the first person to see him, but I've seen something in him, and he's that breakthrough kid. What is he, 17?
Yeah, he's just a youngster. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be that breakthrough kid this year that gets, he might get an handful of, he might get a few starts in the cups and he'll get a few cameo appearances. But I honestly think he's got some quality. Has he got the end product?
That's I would go on loan. I'll put him on loan.
At the moment, the one thing that I said about Sanusi was he didn't look like he had the end product.
He hasn't, Steve.
He was doing what I expected Harrison to do. I mean, lots of people beat Harrison up, and he's had a few chances and hasn't really done anything. He doesn't look as if he's going to be the player. Who knows? I mean, Man City.
Do you know what it is? I disagree with you. I think Harrison looked okay. He did the easy things okay. He just didn't do anything special. But that doesn't put me off him, if you know what I mean. I think he was playing it safe. He's playing in a midfield three with two really experienced midfield players, and he's just giving them the ball and going, "You do what you've got to do," rather than risking anything. I don't worry about him. I think he's going to develop when he develops, and. But I don't think
I wasn't criticising him. I just think the way that I think a lot of people have built him up. You've got to be careful with building players up, and I think potentially.
You think he's going to be like Gaza? He's going to just get hold of the ball and be fucking.
He had this problem there last pre-season, didn't he? Really, with Elliot Anderson, he had a hell of a pre-season last season.
Yeah,
and then we built him up a bit, and then he went. You know what I mean? A bit. He got injured.
Yeah, it's true, Spenny. I mean, this is the problem. We tend to do that. On social media, I guess that's where it happens. But all right, okay, Magnus will come to you.
One other thing I wanted to say was Sean, right?
Longstaff?
Sean's come out, Longstaff. Sean's come out and he's took a lot of grief and it's obviously got to him. And do you know what it is? Good. I'm glad it's got to him. Do you know why? Because he's got a big pair of bollocks on him, and he's come out fighting. And he's willing, he knows he's a squad player. He's not stupid. He's like Murphy, but they're happy to be squad players. But I tell you what, they'll fight for a place in the team. That kid's got a big pair of bollocks on him. And he's come out and he's done really, really well. And it's like other people have said, what's he, why is he kicking off about it? He's not kicking off. He's saying, I'm here to stay. I'm going to try and work for the team. And I was dead proud of him, actually, to be honest. So
me too. Me too. My advice to Sean Longstaff would be try and avoid it. because
Yeah.
it doesn't do you any favors. No matter what walk of life you are in, if you end up in a maelstrom of social media criticism, sitting reading it is not the best thing to do. The best thing to do is to, if you see something that you're not happy with, just walk away, because if you start following the comments and reading what all these people have got to say about you, it's no good for you. It's no good for your mental health.
But he answered it. He answered it in the best way he could on the pitch.
He did.
The
But
ones the most pressure at Newcastle United are the ones from around the region. Simple as that.
Yeah. 100%. There's no doubt about
it. Why get on them? They're the fucking heartbeat, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Tom's just said in our private chat, why do local Geordie players get so much grief? Seems it's always been that way. It's because historically we've always seemed to have a boo boy, somebody that the fans like to have a go at and get on their back. And I mean, it's unfortunate. That's just human. It's just a human way of doing things, I guess. And the Geordie boys always are going to have that. There's always going to be a bit of anticipation and excitement when a Geordie breaks through. But if they don't live up to the certain fans' expectations, that's when the criticism seems to get leveled at them, and it then leads to people saying, well, if that was me, I'd be able to do it. It's just one of them things. You're always going to get criticism in life, and unfortunately, when you're playing in front of 52,000 people and you've got millions of fans all over the world, they're watching your every move, you're going to get criticism. He knows that. But yeah, I agree with what you say, and I agree with your sentiment. I was pleased to see him come out and put it to bed, if nothing else. Magnus, you wanted to put something to bed as well. Confusion over your nationality, first of all.
No, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew. I took the Danish shirt because we were signing a new player last week. I'm totally not Danish, if anybody thought that, but they are lovely people. We get on, and it's always a good place to visit. They got their nice breweries, they got the theme parks, and they're always very welcoming. So I'm really glad to have a Dane on the team that I call the Great Dane, and he really showed me what he was all about this weekend.
It was good to see you and Spenny as well both win a prize this week on the Three Amigos. The winner of the lookalike competition was a lookalike of you and Spenny, Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy standing back to back. Put in by Stu.
Easy.
I have to admit, I was busy all week, so I haven't seen the Three Amigos. But
you need to watch it. You made the lookalike section anyway. So well.
Guess who put it on?
I'm really pleased. I feel privileged to be a part of that.
Very good. The Select Cup, Magnus, what did you make of it?
First of all, I'm really happy to see that because this is a family sport to me, and it should be for absolutely everybody. If the price was being lowered, then I'm especially happy for young kids that maybe made it there for the first time. Lovely to hear. I hope there was absolutely no problems with the riots. I haven't been watching the English news, but I hope that everything was fine. For me, the guys that stood out was, I feel like every time Joelinton goes away with the national team, he just becomes more skillful every time. I guess he's playing the samba ball with his teammates in Brazil, and I am seeing him still improving. And with him having a bit of beef and the toughness that he has, he stood out for me. Every time he gets the ball, I am impressed. Even, playing out of our own area, he's just such a tough guy, and we are so lucky to have him. He stood out for me. Like somebody else said on the panel recently, Nick Pope seems even taller than he used to be. I think this may have something to do with the competition that he has. Now, we know that he's number one, but who knows for how long? If he's got 4 guys to compete with, probably will be 3 come to the season. Well, that's my opinion anyway. for my opinion, Tino Livramento is ready. He's shown me enough. He's ready to take on the responsibility of being our main right back if the situation develops. That is not slacking off our beloved Trippier, because I'll never forget what he's done for the club. And if he feels like leaving, then I will support whatever he decides to do. I've got to say something about the left back situation. I know Jamal Lewis didn't have the best of games yesterday, but he's shown me, okay, we've already let Paul Dummett move on. So correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we just have Matt Target, Dan Byrne, and then it would be him as well. So I am almost starting to feel maybe we need to keep it. That's my opinion anyway. Osula, the Great Dane, scored a great goal. It should have been, for me, it was never an offside. It was never an offside. However, I am not the linesman of that game, and you gotta trust the guys that are working the pitch. And this is also a friendly, so not gonna make a fuss. There's also, this is not a sure thing, beating two Champions League teams just like that, and beating Girona like that. You could see it was almost a little bit of an embarrassment for the Spanish team. They were starting to pull shirts and getting really annoyed. I think this is a sign of really good things. We are expecting a great season, and for me, if we get that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. If we get Gay as well, then I'm pretty pleased, regardless of whether we get a right winger or not, because we have Almiron and we have Jacob Murphy that has done a wonderful job. And okay, I'm gonna finish off with one player that is exciting me the most. You touched up on that. But Sanusi, for me, is the most exciting player I've seen for a long time. I know he didn't really score or anything like that. But boy, oh boy, has he shown me some skills. And I know it's been only a touch of brilliance. But if this is a 17-year-old, I didn't believe that he was 17-year-old. If this is his qualities at 17 years, then the future is really bright, and we are lucky to have found that unpolished gem that will only improve. I haven't been so excited since the guys like Lomano Lualua, that was one of my favorites, and Saint-Maximin. This is that kind of player. He will put me to the edge of my seat every time, and I love to watch players like that. Isak is one of them, And, if we have 2 or 3 players like that in our team, this is going to be an enjoyable season. I'm itching to get started.
Okay, good stuff. We are halfway through the show. Time for the ads.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find their website at skipsandbins.com. Contact us, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. Their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk. Telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to United Group Travel. They are the Travel and Tourism Award winners in 2024. Their website, www.unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com or telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. A big thanks to Media Arts. You can find them at www.media-arts.co.uk. And don't forget, we are a podcast. You can find us on iTunes or Spotify or other podcast providers. If you want to help the channel grow, then hit the like button, the little thumb underneath the video, click share and share to your social media, or join the channel for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to take out a one-off payment membership, go to nufcmatters.com and hit membership. And for a £25 fee, you get a scarf, a cup, a pen, and a membership card. You can also put a smartphone over the top of this QR code. It'll take you straight there. And don't forget, we also help the food bank on this channel. NUFCfansfoodbank.co.uk is a website where you can make a virtual donation today.
Okay, welcome back. It is the Fans Forum pre-recorded version for you tonight, but we have got a game coming up at the weekend, and on our last Fans Forum we did get the predictions from the lads, and we did talk about the game and look ahead to the season. Let's talk teams, lads, and I've stuck this together, and that's what I think the team, for me, on performances in pre-season should be. And it's going to cause a bit of controversy, I guess, and a bit of conversation on here, which is why I put it together. Nick Pope, I think, is in goal. Don't think we've got any doubts on who a goalkeeper is. I think on pre-season form, Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall both deserve an opportunity to start against Southampton, and I think Southampton is the key. The opposition's the key. It's a game that we should win, but I think Tino and Lewis Hall playing left back and right back, I think we've done it before. I don't see any reason why not. Fabian Schär, is he going to be okay, or is he injured? I would imagine he'll be fine. He's come back from worse than that. Let's put it right. And Dan Burn, of course, who has played centre half as well. So that was picked before yesterday's game. In the midfield, Joe Linton and Sean Longstaff. I can hear people groaning already about Sean, but I think Sean again has had a decent pre-season, and I think Eddie Howe will go with him. Joe Linton, of course, I think he will play as well. Bruno will play further advanced. I think your left and your right picks itself after pre-season. Anthony Gordon and Jacob Murphy. And I think Alexander Isak will be the striker up front. As always, Eddie Howe will do something, I would imagine, and change something, make some changes to my lineup. But what's your thoughts, George? Give us your potential starting lineup.
Well, that's not a bad one to start with, but I have to say, after seeing the weekend, I'd be very surprised if Lloyd isn't challenging where Dan Burn is, because he looked smooth. He looked really good, and I wouldn't be unhappy to see him in there rather than Dan Burn. Sentimental reasons, of course, it's nice to have a Jody in the side, and particularly who has the push that Dan's got. Dan isn't the captain, but he marshals at the back four very nicely, or back five, and him and Pope seem to have a good rapport. But in terms of playing and football styles, I think this new lad Lloyd will not be far away from Eddie Howe's thoughts, especially as Eddie Howe really knows him. In midfield, well, Sean Longstaff's earned his place. Joe Linton, Magnus said it, seems to get better as the seasons go on. So there was never any doubt about him. But Sean Longstaff, I'd say to you lads, the one thing I like about Sean Longstaff in the midfield, his first movement always is forward. He's not a player like some midfielders, played sideways, played backways, anyways. Sean Longstaff always is looking to move forward, and that's a good thing to have in your side. So if he's remember, he played the best part of the second half of the season last year with getting injections in his foot so he could go on the pitch. One presumes that's all gone away. Certainly looked like it in the games he's played pre-season. So I'm not unhappy about Sean being there. But, what backups we've got now in that midfield. We've got Joe, Willock and other options if we need to. The front, well, again, picks itself. I mean, Anthony Gordon looked like he'd never been away when he slotted that goal in. And same with Isak in the pre-season games. He's just looked so sharp. and Jacob Murphy, in my views, earned the shirt with the way he's played in pre-season. But again, look at the way some of the others came on and did their bit. I mean, Barnes scored a nice goal and looked pretty sharp. So, we've got options there that we seem to have ignored. We keep saying we want another right winger, and I haven't even mentioned Miggy yet. So that's a good starting 11, Steve. I'd give you credit for that. But the one place I would challenge would be Dan Burn. I think young Lloyd might be challenging for that place on the starter.
Okay, good stuff. Spenny, what's your team then, mate, for Saturday?
I would go with Lloyd Kelly, but it's the right back is going to be a sticky one for Yao. Whether or not Trippier's going away for me, if he's going to play Tyne over there or Trippier, that's going to be a sign whether he's away or not. Midfield, I will put Willick in instead of Longstaff. Keep the back two of Joe Linton and Bruno behind Willick. I thought that played well together when they were them three together when they were playing last season. What were absolutely tremendous, the pace they had in that. For me, I would put Willick in. And you're right, George. Yes, Longstaff does deserve a place, but I do think we're not protecting the defence, centre defence when Longstaff was playing. So that's my only worry. I think Joe Linton, Bruno do that better behind someone going forward. On the right, I would put Gordon in. I will put Gordon in on the right, and I'll put Barnes in. I saw a funny comment today on Twitter saying that all Barnes does is score goals. He doesn't play well. Well, hell yeah, man. You know what I mean?
What an issue that is, Spenny, yeah?
I know. Like I said, Isaac up front that's the only one that I can say he's got guaranteed his place. And Pope, obviously, for them too. But it's obviously Eddie Howe, and he always plays his cards to his chest. But for me, I will put Willick on the pitch just to link up with Gordon, because I think he links up with Gordon very well, and Barnes, and put Lloyd Kelly in. I think Lloyd Kelly deserves his place. It's just England when they go back to about the cup with Trippier as well, holding the cup and passing the cup to it. I think Bruno will be captain as well on next week.
All right, good stuff. Tom, you nodded quite a bit there with Spenny, so I don't think we're far away from each other's selections, to be honest.
Yeah, well, last year, especially on their away form or against teams that we should have got points from, we had trouble breaking them down. That was a problem. And then they would hit us on the counter, and we gave away a lot of points on the counter because they kind of overran our midfield and our defense was so slow. So I'm a huge fan of Big Dan Burn. I love him. I think he should be captain. With that said, we have no pace in the back at all. So Kelly may get the nod, and I'm going to be a little controversial. I think against teams that are going to have 9 or 10 people back, we need more pace in the back. That's when we need it, so we don't give up the easy goal on the counter. So Pope picks himself. I think Livramento deserves it. Deserves the start. I think Hall deserves the start. But I would go with Kelly. Although I know Eddie will not go with Kelly. He'll go with Big Dan Burn. He's a loyal guy. Midfield, again, I agree with you. You have Bruno in a more advanced role. I think that's going to flex back and forth the way that Eddie likes to do and move in and out. So I look at it as more of a 4-3-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1 kind of as you look. But I think that's kind of semantics. It kind of goes both ways. I do think Longstaff deserves the shirt. Tonali's going to take it from him. We know that. It's just a matter of time. Willick does better on the left side. Joe Linton does better on the left side. I think that's the only reason why I think Longstaff should start, because I think he does better on the right versus Willick. So I think you got the midfield correct, and I like your front line. I don't think that I would play Gordon out of position. I would keep him on the left. I was nodding at Spenny because I was going to argue with him. I think there's no way you take him out of the left. Gordon gets the left. Isaac picks himself. And Murphy, it's not just the preseason. Murphy's put a lot of points up and made and created a lot of goals since January, since he started getting regular time on the pitch. I love the guy. I love his attitude. I think that he's earned that until we bring in, or if we bring in, a 50, 60 million pound right winger. I think that he's easily got the spot over Miggy. So I picked the exact same players you picked, with the exception of Kelly. And my reasoning is we are just a little too slow, and we need to defend the counter.
Yeah. The whole winger thing's fascinating. I mean, if we bring one in, we bring one in. But he has got options, Eddie. But clearly, it's options that he doesn't want to look at. Potentially playing Gordon on the left, Barnes on the right, swapping them over. Giving them a bit of freedom. Little things like that. But it's quite regimented the way that Eddie sets up. So I don't think he'll ever do that. But Murphy, plays with a smile on his face, happy to sit on the bench and come on as an impact sub. Haven't even mentioned Miggy. Miggy might be going nowhere now. He's going to be knocking on the door, wanting a bit of game time as well. But we've got options on that right-hand side. And with the exciting Sanusi, raw talent, I guess, coming into the mix as well in big games. He could potentially be somebody as well. Darren, this is
before Darren, I'd just like to say something. Young Manley had a good weekend. We haven't mentioned Jamie either. Jamie had a hell of a weekend as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Could go out on loan, Spenny, though. I think it's somebody might have been actually him. Thinks he would benefit from going out on loan. But definitely want to watch as well.
For once, I'm gonna agree with Spenny on this. He was playing in a position that he looked like he should play in as well. Because previously we'd seen him playing. Did we see him playing at right back?
No.
Are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Am I drunk?
Jamie Miley.
Yeah. I thought we'd seen him at right back also.
He went against Hull the last 10 minutes. He did.
Yeah. But
he played midfield best part of the game.
Yeah, but in centre midfield, I thought his vision and the balls
he went right back the last 10 minutes against Hull.
No, I was thinking the season before, when I've seen him.
No.
But anyway, he looked class. I'm agreeing with Spenny. He looked real class.
Darren, give us your team. What would your team be against Southampton on Saturday?
Well, for the first time ever, I've got to agree with Spenny.
Right.
Okay. That's I know it's Spenny. Barnes, Lloyd Kelly, and Wilson. I think Wilson plays better. Willock plays better with Joe Linton and Bruno. Lewis Hall's got to play left back. Tino right back. Kelly and Shaw, and that's to me. That's you can't be lying in this game. You've got to be ruthless. We want to win. If people want to be in the top four, you got to start getting points on the board straight away. So start the season, and I would like to be loyal and be to these players, but you cannot afford to be loyal out because we'll get the game running. I'll play Lloyd Kelly, and I'll play going on the right, Barnes on the left. Like you said, Theo, and Eddie doesn't do it, but swap them about, change the every 10 minutes, 50 minutes, swap the flanks, but he doesn't like doing that anyhow. But I don't think Joe Willock, Bruno, and Joe Linton, that's your midfield three for me, because I'm a big fan of Joe Willock, I am. He looked good yesterday on his movement and his passing. And our long staff, but to me, sub all day long. And we've got Amaron and my mate Murphy to come on if we need them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got strength and depth. That's the difference this year. Ian, give us your team, mate, for Saturday against Southampton.
I disagree a little bit on Willock. I think Willock's an excellent player. In the past, he's flattered to deceive at times. He's had an amazing game, then a 7 out of 10 game, then a shite game. That's the way I've seen it going. It's great, okay, shite, over the time. But I know that there's a player in Willock and it's going to come out at some point, and it could well be this season if he gets himself fit. But I thought he looked a bit off the pace. He did play a lot better in the last game that he played, but remember, he's not played for. He's basically been out for a season for me, and I think Sean deserves to start. I know a lot of people won't agree with us because he's he's not as good as a footballer as Willock, but the other things he gives, we've got footballers on the pitch. If you stick him alongside.
You not think Sean Longstaff was like Joe Willock? He has one good game and then bad game. You kind of see it. When I watch Longstaff, he does have 3 or 4 bad games. And we're all being on his panel criticising him.
Listen, this is. I'll tell you what this is.
I'm saying, like, in previous, when we've been on here, we've always said Longstaff has played good.
I agree.
And I'm not saying, like, I know you said Willock has one good game, one bad game, but I think Sean Longstaff worse than that. If Willock get a run of games, I think he could be class in the team.
Longy can do that as well. I just feel like I think Longstaff, with everything that's happened, I think he's. I know it's going to sound, and I might be being sentimental here, and I probably am because I'm a soft shite. But I think Longstaff's got something to prove, and I think that we need to give him the chance to prove that and stick him in with Bruno and Big Joe. And I think Longstaff does a job when he's next to Bruno, a fit Bruno who's going after it. And remember, we've got Big Joe. Big Joe was missing a lot last season, and that'd be the way I'd go, to be honest. Plus, Willock plays the left side of the 3. He's not
like I said, Ian. It's not guaranteeing that Tonali will get back in the team. You know what I mean? These players have got to prove themselves, like I said in the first half of this here. If these players will get in, Longstaff or Willock get in, Tonali might not even get in the team.
Do you know what makes me think Tonali? Do you know what makes me think Tonali will get back in? Do you know what it is? That interview with Tino, where they said one word for everybody, and then he came to Tonali and he just went machine. He went machine.
Yeah.
He played what? Like he was a Champions League semi-finalist, captain of AC Milan, blah, 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 young lad. Yes, all right, he might not have wanted to come to us. He's come to us, but he owes us one now. And he knows he owes us one. He's come out and said he owes us one. He's now got 5 years of playing for us where he knows that we have backed him to the fucking hilt, right? And he knows if he can't do anything but give 100%, and I think he will. And I think for that reason he is going to step up. It might not be straight away, and I agree with you. He's not just going to walk into the team. Eddie Howe would not let him do that. We've seen it anyway before, but I think he is going to come in, and I think this season he's going to be a massive difference to our team. And remember now, like Eddie Howe, Tyndall, they've had a year to work with him, Bruno, and Big Joe when he's not been injured, to work out how these 3 play together. They've not been working. They've been think that's surely to God. That's what they've been thinking. These are going to be. This is our midfield. They'll have worked out a way of playing together.
But Ian, can I say, and I see they've been working as a team. You wouldn't be working on Tonali because you can't play. You want to be working on the players who can play. Do you know what I mean?
No, I disagree because I think
this time last year we were talking about can Tonali play with Bruno and Joe. Rewind back a year ago today, in pre-season or the start of the season, we were saying can they play together, and we said we didn't know, did we?
No.
But my birthday was August the 12th last year, and I was in the Gallagher. And I watched us absolutely smash Aston Villa, and Tonali have one of the best games I've seen in Newcastle United.
And I've just one game though. He's been banned for the best part of the season though.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge. It's difficult to judge Tonali. It really is difficult to judge Tonali, and for me,
anyhow, the rest of my team.
Yeah,
rest of my team. I can't remember where I go to. Lloyd Kelly for me. What Kelly gives us that Byrne doesn't give us is the ability to slot a pass through. He can dissect the team. Some of the passing, like some of the passes that he made the other day, and in the few glimpses of him that I've had and on YouTube as well, he's got a pass in him, and I think for me, I would probably go for him before Burn, but I think Burn starts.
I think he's got a mistake in him too, though. I have to say.
They all have. So's Dan Burn. They all have, haven't they? I think, and he's quick. He's fast, and you know, he's fast, and he's a great passer of the ball. For me, he is a better footballer than Dan Burn. Although I love Dan Burn, you know, but that for me, that's what I would choose. I don't think Eddie will go that way. We've done midfield, up front. I'd play Murph. I would. I just think he's on fire at the moment, and he's full of confidence. And then the other two are obvious.
Okay. Last but by no means least, Magnus, it's over to you. Your team for the game against Southampton.
Yeah, I am very impressed with the team that you already put up there. I'm always going to go with Pope in the goal, and this has been good conversation talking about our defenders. I'm going with the same fullbacks as you guys. We're talking of Lewis Hall on the left, Dan Burn. I think he's earned it. You know, I think he's been a smashing centre back when needed. I know he can play on the left back if needed, but hopefully that's a solution we only do in emergencies, if you ask me. I like the lineup that you put out there because it's very similar to. I'm a former football manager, computer game guy, and I used to always put 4-1-3-2 on the other hand. So, and I can see with the two offensive midfielding options that you got there, you know, Joelinton is going to be up and down there. He can help right up front. He's going to be right all over the place, isn't he? You know, yeah. And but if you were to ask me, though, on the other hand, if on later stages we were in a little bit of a trouble, you know, or things were really even, I would like to see maybe Longstaff go out, say like later stage in the game, and put Ostula up front and play with 4-1-3-2 if needed, you know. And that would be a change that I would see as beneficial. Having one in front of the defense is very helpful, and three sort of attacking helpers. In our case, those three for me are always going to be Bruno, Joelinton, and I'm going to have to agree with Darren there. It's going to be Little Joe. On the left side. So the only question is there, are we going to have two? I would really like to see two up front one day. You know, maybe it doesn't work every time, but like if you had to ask me, I would do the same back line. I would do Joelinton right in front of that of that defense. The three players I'd have up front would be, let me see. Let me just have a little look here. That would be Bruno and what did I say here? Jacob Murphy and Isak, you know, right up front. I think the only change from this team would be whether we do the change either from the start or somewhere along the way. Rather, Sean Longstaff would go out and then attacker goes in and we do 4-1-3-2. So that's the only difference that I see. I really like the team that you set up there.
Good stuff. All about opinions. That's what the Fans Forum is. Big thanks to Magnus, Ian, Darren, Tom, Spenny, and George. Thanks to you in the chat. We'll be back next Monday, looking back at Newcastle United's first Premier League game. For now, take care, guys. Good night.
Good boys.
3-0, everybody.
3-0.
4-0.